Yesterday we got the brand new trailer for the She-Hulk television series coming to Disney Plus, and the fan reaction is pretty mixed. Overall, the show looks fun, but there are some interesting things that have popped up in the trailer that some fans are really upset about. So we wanted to dive in and talk about that a bit because it is really interesting. Before we jump into it though, quick Marvel trivia question. Who played Bruce Banner's first love interest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to see if you can actually remember all the way back to who the first love interest of the Incredible Hulk was. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this She-Hulk stuff because it is really interesting. Over the years, we've seen Bruce Banner appear in 8 live action appearances, but hasn't had a single movie in many years. And now we're getting a She-Hulk Disney Plus series that will also star Mark Ruffalo to some extent, but we'll be following the character Jennifer Walters, played by Tatiana Maslany. We recently got the brand new trailer showing this series, and while many fans point out that the show looks like a fun half-comedy hero movie, there are a few things that are pretty concerning in the special effects department and CGI. Specifically, a lot of fans pointing out that the CGI just doesn't look up to par from what the Marvel Cinematic Universe usually has in various films that have released. And some speculating that maybe they're kind of cheaping out on the overall budget and VFX quality to save money, because this is a big contrast from some of the CGI that we've seen in other projects, like for instance WandaVision, which was one of the most expensive television series ever produced. Now, this is the first time ever that we've had a fully motion captured character in a lead role in a Marvel project, and we do know for a fact, just because a lot of other filmmakers have talked about this being a major problem, but with the pandemic there is a massive backlog of VFX and CGI productions where these companies that are in charge of doing graphics and VFX for movies and television series is moving along much slower because of the earliest delays in a lot of different projects. So with all of that being said, it did seem like an odd timing for Marvel to drop the trailer for the upcoming She-Hulk series, with the CGI and VFX looking in a little bit of a rougher state than the type of standard you would typically expect. This has been something that blew up on social media overnight, where a lot of people pointed out that the show looks like a lot of fun and there's going to be some really interesting callbacks and cool characters appearing. However, it doesn't necessarily look like the CGI itself and the visuals have necessarily had the most effort put into them or the most polish. There's some moments in the trailer where in a way it almost looks like a video game render of a character just put into a live action setting, or in other times you really can see that She-Hulk looks very rubbery and it doesn't look like the pacing and the animation is lined up just right. But by far, one of the most recent things that have been pointed out is the fact that if you look at the moment in the trailer where you see both She-Hulk and the regular Incredible Hulk, the CGI on She-Hulk looks significantly worse than what we see in the Incredible Hulk, which makes a lot of people question as to whether or not the show just isn't finished yet and they're still wrapping up some of the CGI this late in development, where they maybe already have a finalized look for a character like the Incredible Hulk that's already appeared in a lot of movies, and maybe they haven't finalized the visual appearances that they are expecting for the She-Hulk character and they're gonna go and overdo everything. Or it's just possible that they don't have the same amount of research and development into how they wanted She-Hulk to look as they did with the Incredible Hulk, because the Incredible Hulk had all of these movie projects where he was funded and designed and redesigned and concepted for. Nonetheless, the show still looks really good, and there is still the chance that Disney will clean up a lot of the CGI before its release. However, based on this first trailer, it does look a little bit rough around the edges, but that doesn't change our excitement about the project until the show actually releases and we can see if they did change things up. And even if the CGI is rubbery and not as good as what we would expect, doesn't necessarily mean that the writing and the storytelling will be bad, and there still will be some really cool things out of this series either way, more than likely. But we still wanted to turn this conversation around to you guys. And as far as the Marvel trivia question was concerned, if you guessed Liv Tyler, who played Betty Ross in the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Incredible Hulk, you would be correct. Character we haven't seen since 2008, but has been rumored to maybe be in talks with Marvel to reprise her role one day. We'll have to see about that. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.